What happened at Old Trafford tonight wasn't just a defeat. It wasn't just a setback. It was a collapse. A complete, embarrassing, inexplicable performance from Manchester United, who somehow managed to lose at home to a team playing with 10 men for more than 75 minutes. A night that was supposed to be about honoring George Best instead turned into one of the most forgettable displays this club has produced all season. From the very first whistle, something felt off. United jogged onto the pitch like a team that expected Everton to roll over, a team that assumed the 3 points were already theirs. But Everton arrived with purpose. They pressed with energy, they snapped into tackles, they moved the ball quickly, everything you'd expect from a team fighting for something, and almost immediately, United looked second best. Passes were heavy, runs were mistimed, the tempo was flat, and the body language was distant. Old Trafford watched with growing concern as Everton, of all teams, were the ones pushing forward with confidence. Then came the chaos. First, Seamus Coleman went down and had to be replaced. A moment of disruption that should have tilted momentum toward United. Instead, it triggered one of the most bizarre incidents the Premier League has seen this season. Idrissa Gueye suddenly lost complete control. After giving away the ball and nearly gifting Bruno Fernandes a chance, he turned on Michael Keane in a furious argument. And before anyone could even process what was happening, Gueye slapped his own teammate across the face, in front of everyone, in front of the referee, in front of Old Trafford. Tony Harrington didn't hesitate. Straight red card. Everton were down to 10 men. Keane looked stunned. The United fans roared in disbelief, and Pickford had to drag Gueye away before things got even worse. That sending off should have flipped the match on its head, but instead it exposed exactly what this Manchester United team has been hiding for weeks. They don't know how to break teams down. They don't know how to control games. And tonight, they didn't even look like they wanted to, because from the moment Everton went down to 10, something even stranger happened. United got worse. Passes became sloppier, movement became predictable, and players began hiding instead of demanding the ball. Old Trafford sensed it. This wasn't going to be the routine win it was supposed to be. And in the 29th minute, the disaster arrived. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall picked up the ball and glided forward. Fernandes closed him down weakly. Lenny Yoro poked at him with a half-hearted challenge. Dewsbury-Hall just kept going, and then he curled the ball beautifully from the edge of the box. Senna Lamens couldn't stop it. Everton, with 10 men, were leading at Old Trafford. The away fans erupted. They knew the significance. And United? They just stood there, staring, almost confused that an opponent had the nerve to take the lead. From that moment on, United's night turned from worrying to humiliating. Patrick Dorgu sliced a shot wide. Amad Diallo tried something clever but lacked the final touch. Jordan Pickford, who lives for big nights against United, barely broke a sweat. But when he needed to, he came alive. His save against Bruno Fernandes from distance was world-class. Old Trafford applauded the save and groaned at the situation. The halftime whistle arrived, and the boos were loud, heavy, tired, unforgiving. Mount came on for the second half, but absolutely nothing changed. United continued misplacing passes, continued slowing down attacks, continued showing no urgency, no spark, no idea. Everton sat deep, disciplined, and determined. Manchester United, meanwhile, looked like the team with 10 men. The crosses, hopeless. The dribbles, predictable. The shooting, panicked. Every time United reached the final third, the crowd waited, not for a goal, but for the next mistake. Brian Mbeumo tried a few snapshots. Mount curled one wide. Fernandes somehow flicked over from 6 yards. A chance players score in training with their eyes closed. The groans inside Old Trafford grew louder. "Attack! Attack! Attack!" the crowd shouted, not as encouragement, but as desperation. And then came the Xerxes chapter of frustration, his first start in more than 200 days. He wanted to make an impact, but Pickford denied him again and again. A header here, a flick there, a turn inside the box, every single one smothered. Fernandes lasered one over. Xerxes nodded another wide. And as the minutes slipped away, it became painfully clear. United were never scoring tonight. They could have played another hour, maybe two, and nothing would have changed. When the final whistle finally blew, the boos returned, this time even louder, this time filled with anger, disappointment, embarrassment. United had every advantage: possession, talent, the crowd behind them, and 11 men for nearly the entire match. Yet they couldn't score a single goal against a team reduced to 10 after just 13 minutes. A team that should have been on the ropes. A team that should have been overwhelmed. But instead, it was United who looked beaten long before the final whistle. Tonight wasn't unlucky. It wasn't unfortunate. It wasn't a fluke. Pause. It was something deeper, something far more worrying, a mentality issue, a desire issue, a standards issue. The kind of problem that makes fans question everything happening behind the scenes. How does a club with this history, this budget, these players fold so easily? How does a team with every advantage manage to look so helpless against an opponent in crisis? Everton, with fewer players and more adversity than anyone expected, fought for every inch of grass, every second ball, every loose challenge. They defended like their lives depended on it. They attacked with purpose when the opportunities came. They believed. They worked. They suffered. Together. And Manchester United, they barely fought at all. No urgency, no fire, no leadership. Just a slow, predictable, lifeless attempt to break down a team that refused to break. And that's why tonight became historic. It ended with David Moyes finally breaking his Old Trafford curse, earning his first ever Premier League win here as an opposing manager. After years of trying, after years of leaving this stadium empty-handed, he finally beat United on their own pitch. And he did it on a night when Everton were supposed to collapse, but instead, United did. Pause. This wasn't just a loss. It wasn't just 3 points dropped. It was a warning. A loud one. A reminder that talent means nothing without fight. A reminder that possession means nothing without intent. A reminder that wearing the shirt doesn't automatically make you worthy of it. A night meant to honor legends became a night that exposed the present, a night that showed just how far the standards have fallen, a night where the players weren't just beaten, they were shown up by a team that wanted it more. And as the players walked off slowly, heads down, avoiding the furious stares of the crowd, hoping the boos would fade before they reached the tunnel, the message from Old Trafford was unmistakable. This wasn't unlucky. This wasn't unfortunate. This was disgusting. A performance devoid of pride, devoid of hunger, devoid of anything that resembles Manchester United. A performance fans will remember, not because it hurt, not because it shocked them, but because it should never happen again. Ever.